Well, hey everyone. I'm sure you probably noticed right off the bat that my audio is a lot better. And a lot of that is due to I finally got a good mic to actually record these videos in, which I'm definitely gonna need because as you can see, Mitsubashi is indoors. And I finally have a garage to actually do a lot more content in and be able to show more just in-depth things and show kind of what I need to do in a controlled environment that I don't have to worry about lighting necessarily. I'm looking at getting some little bit better lights, and this light socket here is actually damaged. There is no threads in it, so I'm probably gonna have to end up replacing that socket just entirely. But there's a good LED light there and there. So it's not terrible for the time being. It could be a lot better. This place obviously has zero sound deadening, zero insulation. So I can only imagine that in the wintertime it's probably bitter ass cold in here. But it's about 77 right now. So not too bad, but on the days where it gets like 95 or 100, it's gonna be pretty goddamn hot in here. So I might have the doors open for that, which given if it's probably that hot, I'll probably have some decent lighting. I've got a halfway decent garage now, and I've got a little bit of storage over here. What would be my left? I've got some of my tools that I don't use from work that I was able to bring here, and also I went to Harbor Freight just to complete whatever tools I couldn't bring, you know, like basic socket sets and stuff like that I want to keep at work. I got a workbench that the camera's sitting on right now. Should serve pretty well. I might move it over there, but I do have to cut the bottom of that slat wall off because it won't slide underneath it, and I would like it to slide underneath it so it sits kind of in that little recess right there, and then it'll have both of the power outlets available to it. And yeah, it would be interesting to see, even though I'm renting this place, if I could get like 240 in here. That would definitely help for running some machines. If I was to get like a welder, then I could get a higher end welder that I could probably keep for longer rather than just a cheap welder that might last me a couple years, because I do want to get a welder eventually. But as far as everything goes power-wise, it seems like this place is pretty good. And the transformers are just literally right outside. They're run through the alleyway here. So I wouldn't imagine getting another line ran would be too bad, and the breaker box has 8 open slots. So like I said, I wouldn't imagine getting it would be too bad. Obviously it'd be way more expensive paying for that $240 a month, but that also depends on if I'm using it or not. I just figured that I haven't given an update for a while, and I do apologize, just as I've had a lot going on with, I also picked up a 2000 Mitsubishi GT, so not a GTS like this one is, but it doesn't have an engine, and it does have the transmission that came with it, but that car had the 4-cylinder versus Mitsubishi has the V6. I'm not 100% sure yet if those transmissions are cross-compatible as far as the bolt pattern. I would imagine they are, and if you do know, definitely let me know in the comments. But I'm really only interested in that car just for the body pieces, so I can fix the rusting out strut towers and some of the other stuff behind Mitsubishi. I have changed the oil in this. I can go through another video of how to change the oil in this car, or just in any car in general, kind of go over the topics, general topics like I did for the compression test video. But if you have anything that you want me to show, if you have anything you want me to do, let me know. Probably going to eventually want to put the 3.8 Myvec engine in this. If you know of a place I can get a good new Myvec engine, I don't want to get a worn out engine. I don't want to, like, I would prefer to not get a used engine, just because the overall condition of those is very hit or miss, and especially if they've been sitting for a while, unless you tear the engine down, it's very suspect on what the overall condition is. And if I was to go with a 3.8, I'd probably be putting a lot more power to it. So I'd want to know that I'd have a good reliable base to start with. But I'm not saying that a used engine is completely out of the question. It's just I would prefer like even some new old stock. I know that there's probably some 3.8s out there, considering that they were a newer engine than this. They ran all the way up to 2012, so I'd imagine there's got to be some new old stock for those engines, even blocks or long blocks, short blocks, whatever. If you do know of a place and you also know whether or not the transmission in this car, which I will put the model number of the transmission up somewhere, if it is directly compatible with the 3.8, or if I need to do any like adapting to.
Hey, real quick, I wanted to come on here and say that in between the time that this video was shot and present day when I'm recording this, I have actually learned that majority of the Mitsubishi engines and transmissions are cross-compatible with each other, even between the Evo and the Eclipse. So I shouldn't run into any problems theoretically from what I've seen, but if I do, obviously I can deal with it then. Just wanted to come on here and say that I did find out they are cross-compatible with each other.
Bolt it to the 3.8, let me know, but I don't know when I'll be able to get the other car down here, because like I said, it doesn't have an engine, it doesn't run, and the interior in it is pretty bad. It's sat outside for like 2.5, 3 years. But thankfully, being that it's so dry here, it doesn't look too rusty underneath. I did have to free one of the brake rotors on the back when I loaded it on the trailer. So I was able to get one of the tires off and kind of look at it. It does look pretty good overall. The brakes were rusted, but I don't really care, especially because this car has discs all the way around, so that rear drum doesn't even matter to me. If you have a 3G Mitsubishi Eclipse, particularly a GT, and there's a part on there that you need that isn't a part of the engine or a part of the body, like if you need the transmission, if you need something off the car, let me know. And I'd be more than willing to go take it off for you and sell it or get it to you in some other way, whatever. You know, if you need because I really only need the car for the body. And so once I'm done with it, the car is going to be pretty much useless. And I just don't want to give that to a junkyard if there is somebody out there who does need some parts for one of these, because the parts are really goddamn hard to find. That's the whole reason I had to go get another donor car in the first place, because they don't make the parts for this anymore. Like this piece here for the I think they called it the rain guard cover. They don't make that anymore. So trying to find little bits and pieces like that. Obviously they don't make the body panels for these things anymore. They're old. They're over 20 years old, some of them. Actually, all of them are now. The 2005 would have been the 20-year point. So yeah, if there's anything that you can think of, if you have one of these and you need a part, let me know. If you know of a good place to get a 3.8 Myvec engine, let me know. And especially let me know, what do you want me to do with this car? Do you want me to show how to check brakes, how to replace brakes, how to, you know, do whatever it is that you need to do on your car? And if it's within my ability, I'll definitely create a video on it. But for now, that's kind of just the update. And yeah, I look forward to keep going on this. Thank you.